Hi everyone. We are in week 3 of our Holistic Weight Loss Intensive. We covered the physical body in week 1, the emotional body in week 2, and today we are continuing our workshop on the mental body and talking about a new awesome tool called the energetic reconciliation method. All right, so let's go through some of the steps, the general steps for the energetic reconciliation method. The first part is you will identify. We will identify a thought, problem, situation, or recurring template in your life. And then we want to reconcile. We want to forgive anyone involved, and especially including yourself. That forgiveness and that release causes huge vibrational shifts in the body. Then we want to release. We want to take responsibility for our part in the event so that it may be set free and replace. We want to run a higher vibration to yourself, the situation, and everyone involved. Step 1 is the identification. The identification process is typically done 2 ways, and I encourage you to learn and to begin using them both as a habit in your daily practice. The first way is the practice of becoming aware of every single thing that comes into your thoughts, minds, emotions, or the sensations of the body. Not ever allowing yourself to become unconscious and totally reactionary in your actions throughout your daily tasks. If you do sort of wake up and realize that you've been lost in thought or unconscious to your feelings and emotions and totally in reactionary mode again, there's no need to judge or berate yourself. Simply bring your focus back to being aware of what you're presently doing and put all the focus at this current moment, not projecting forward to a future event that hasn't occurred yet or to a past event that is still holding you captive. So in other words, you really want to be the watcher, almost as if you are standing over yourself, watching your thoughts and feelings move through your mind and body. When you're going throughout your day and you find a thought or a memory comes up and triggers you into a lower vibrational or emotional state, you immediately identify that thought and will then apply steps 2, 3, and 4 of the emotional reconciliation process immediately to that trigger or that memory that you have then identified. The second method in the identification step is very powerful, especially if you find that you are plagued with an issue that goes very deep and is long-standing, or you don't seem to be able to escape from it. In this method, you will sit down with a pen and paper or your journal and make a list of every thought and memory around a certain item that is causing the problem or causing the emotional suffering. Then you will take each and every single memory, occurrence, or related thought that you can come up with, and after writing them down, you will go through the reconcile, release, and replace steps in this energetic reconciliation method, which are steps 2, 3, and 4. And we're going to cover these in detail in the next screens. As you've gone through your list of items and memories and thoughts associated with something that tends to plague you, you also want to go through and add any other items that may be directly related or even seem unrelated. Write down whatever comes to mind. Usually once you start writing, you will find that you will get into a flow and many things will end up on your list. I personally have had lists that consisted of hundreds of items around a certain circumstance or emotion that I worked through clearing. The resulting freedom is always worth the time and energy of doing the work. For example, let's say that your issue is great fear around money or the lack of money, and that if you don't have money, you feel yourself experiencing insecurity, anxiety, and core deep fear. And you find that your thoughts circle back to this very subject often. If you pay attention, you will see that the mental looping and triggering on items like this is very, very draining energetically to your body. You would then sit down with a pen and paper or your journal and begin making a list of everything that you can think of that may remotely be a memory or a thought around this issue. And so I've just put a couple of examples on your screen. So a list may look like Never had enough food growing up. Had holes in my clothes growing up because we couldn't afford new ones. Divorced and was left with overwhelming bills. Lost my job and had 6 months of no paycheck. Mom wore underwear with holes in it because she was trying to save money for our family. Anxiety that time I purchased that expensive couch. Had a boyfriend with gambling addictions. I hear stories all the time, and people don't even realize that they go throughout their day and they go to spend money or go to pay a bill, and they have an anxiety trigger, and they don't realize that there's a trail throughout their lives, usually from early childhood or even before, of all these experiences that are related. And so what you're really trying to do is create a list that really sits on a certain problem that is draining your energy and causing mental looping, which that means that the vibration of that situation is locked in, really is embedded in the body, and we are working to release that. So you're going through the identification process, and you're either going to make a list when you have something that you're seeing, a repeating pattern that is upsetting you, through the day or through your life, or as I mentioned, the first way through the identification step is also going to be just really being present and paying attention to any thought or any emotion that comes up for you during the day, and therefore you would note it and just go through this process right in your mind, right on the spot. So once you have identified a thought or an emotion, and you have one piece of that you want to work with, we're going to then apply step 2, and that's the reconciliation step. And this step is simple and yet so complicated. I come across people all the time that this is a big stumbling block with. And so here's how it goes. I forgive you. It really is that simple. That is it. That's the part of step 2. I forgive you. I forgive you. You have to release the energetics that you hold to every single thing you experience. This does not mean that you condone things that have happened or that you agree with the circumstances. And that applies to if you have caused a situation or circumstance, or if someone else has been the cause of a situation or circumstance. It just means that you have to release that. This means that you're taking 100% responsibility for the way that you think and feel, and not allowing an outside occurrence, even if that occurrence happened to you, to negatively affect your life now. So step 2 is I forgive you. Forgive every aspect of the thought or memory. Forgive what happened. Forgive who said or did it. Forgive what they said or did. Forgive what they didn't do. Forgive what they weren't able to see when they couldn't see you for who you really are. And forgive their unconsciousness. Also, forgive yourself. If you're the one who did wrong or was irresponsible or was unconscious, forgive yourself. Let go of the energetics that you're holding. If the memory is particularly painful and you feel that you cannot forgive portions of the memory, you need to, at a minimum, forgive yourself for holding on to the vibration in your body. And this can also be a very tender step, so to speak, as we're working to release things. And if it is hard at this point, like I said, to state the words, I forgive you, you want to back up from it as far as you can to at least start being able to cut the vibrations that are locked into the body field loose, because you do not want to continue living your life triggering off of whatever issue or whatever vibration is causing that to repeat over and over and over again in your life. Truly, when you say, I forgive you, don't give those words more power than they have. Although they are powerful, realize that you are running a vibration with those words that you are speaking and thinking. You are, in essence, reconciling with another vibration. When you speak those words, you're projecting forth a vibration that literally is setting you free. While you're going through the open door of the conscious mind in order to connect and release memories that keep you in a state of cycling through templates that don't really serve you well. You don't necessarily have to personalize it if the memory or situation is painful, but just connect with the vibration of the circumstance and forgive it. Step 3 is the release. This step is also so unbelievably simple, just 2 words. I'm sorry. As you work through your list of memories or triggers throughout your day, and you first forgive the core memory, then you need to run the vibration of taking responsibility of participating, even if unwillingly, in the situation, and release it completely by saying, I'm sorry. As you turn around this memory in your mind, look at it from all the angles. Say, I'm sorry to everyone and everything and every aspect that is involved. Say you are sorry to the person, to the animal, to the car, to the computer, and especially to yourself. Even if your own participation was just to hold the vibration in your body when it happened, therefore causing it to be necessary to have to release it in the future. I'm sorry. Run this beautiful vibration without haughtiness, resistance, reluctance, or anger. You are not doing this for the other person or situation, but for yourself. You have to release the vibrations that trigger emotions or memories. But conversely, there's also energetic movement that this step causes between 2 people or entities that are connected through a situational meeting. And by saying I'm sorry and running this frequency, you will be causing a core vibrational shift back at the moment the situation happened. So if you are the one that made an unconscious choice and ended up causing pain or suffering to another, I encourage you to say I'm sorry to yourself, but to also speak directly into the energy field or direct your I'm sorry directly to that person. Just this very act alone can have amazing results at raising your personal frequency. Step 4 is to replace the vibration. Each time that you release an old and unserving memory, you need to cover it with love. So just 3 words in this step: I love you. Now that you've released the energetics around the vibrations that you're holding using steps 2 and 3, I forgive you and I'm sorry, you need to replace the new space you've created within yourself with a higher vibration. There is no higher vibration than love. So the easiest way to connect with that vibration through the conscious mind is 3 little and yet so powerful words. I love you. I love you. And as you're making the choice to move into a state of higher consciousness and are choosing to put off the templates and patterns that keep you stuck and prevent personal and spiritual growth, you will be able to run the vibration of love easier and more naturally. Each time that you release an old and unserving memory, you will need to cover it with love. Soothe your energy body. Be accepting that you did hold the memory frequency and now it is time to let it go. Say, I love you. Project that energy. Love yourself. Love your growth. Love the person. Love the memory that you had that has tried to keep you safe by interpreting that vibration over and over again. Love that you even have the ability to say, I love you. Whatever aspects of the memory or situation, you are releasing direct your words and emotions to it, saying, I love you. This is the highest form of integration, and there is no other vibration that will propel you to inner peace and alignment with who you're created to be than being free enough to say, I love you to every past memory and circumstance. There is another alternative one-step method that you can use in energetic reconciliation. Although I do encourage you to get to where habitually you're fully stepping into the I forgive you, I'm sorry, I love you outlined in the steps previously, you can simplify that process and directly run a releasing vibration into every trigger you experience right in the moment you experience it. As you go through your day and you experience memories, which manifest as thoughts or emotions that trigger in your life as problems, say to them mentally or silently, I love you, dear memories. I am grateful for the opportunity to free all of you and me. Or a simple, I love you to every thought, emotion, memory, or problem that comes up. You can never release memories unless you fully clear and clean them energetically. For example, you can apply the I love you to any activity, conversation, or thought. Flow I love you to getting in the car. Flow I love you to making or answering a telephone call. Or even I love you as you're starting to exercise. And that's just flowing a very high vibration into everything that you're experiencing. As this state of mind and energetic clearing practice becomes habit, you will find your personal vibration remaining at a very high rate. You'll smile more and you'll notice that problems seem to just flow through your experience rather than becoming stuck and being something that you have to deal with over and over again. Remember, there has to be a willingness on your part to do the work, both consciously and unconsciously. There cannot be resistance to the process that we just try to dominate into submission. This will just result in not releasing the vibration. Because it really is about reconciliation of our conscious mind with our subconscious, which holds the memory bank of all of our past experiences. Remember that when we release the vibrational memories of the past and are no longer held captive to their incessant replaying, we are free to experience new vibrations and to move forward in the present and to a different future than we've experienced in the past. If you do not actively clean and clear and release and replace with a higher vibration consistently, you will find yourself triggered and reliving the same emotional suffering and the same situations and the same draining thought patterns as you always have, because those memories, those vibrations are held and locked into the energy body. And so as you go through these steps, I forgive you, I'm sorry, I love you, or simply getting very, very habitual at flowing I love you to everything you do, you are using the conscious mind as a door to link to the unconscious and flowing these vibrations of these words into every situation. And you stay just constantly cleansing yourself, and you will put yourself above and beyond vibrationally for most of the population. And you're experiencing that self-peace, that freedom, that stress relief and release. And you're not going to continue to experience that same level of emotional suffering and stuckness as you may have in certain aspects of yourself in the past. I hope that you've enjoyed attending and that you found this workshop to be a blessing to you. I do encourage you to use this powerful method of stress release, vibrational balancing, and emotional body healing. Emotional freedom is your birthright. It is what you are called for. There is no reason that we have to trigger and have to have these situations and these memories and these vibrations turn and turmoil and cause chaos in our bodies over and over and over again. I urge you, I encourage you to Do the work. Create the habits of constantly clearing and cleansing the things that you're coming into contact with on a consistent and daily basis, as well as the things in the past that cause you to expend so much energy and drain you mentally, physically, spiritually, and energetically because they're still locked into the body. Get in the habit of running the vibrations through every memory and every circumstance that happens. And I promise you, the freedom and the raised vibration that you experience will be worth it, because I'm telling you, your very spirit knows the lack of it. And when you have the emotional suffering, the lack of that freedom that you know you're aligned with causes in itself more emotional suffering. So use this modality. If you have questions, email me, contact me, and we'll go over it and I will help you. I hope you found it to be a blessing. Enjoy.